Christian, how's it going, mate? You good?
Yeah, very good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. You've been a busy man this evening. What have you been up to?
I have been. I've done a webinar with the Community Sports Trust, giving advice to younger players about high performance really. How to prepare before a game, how to manage your thoughts during the game, and of course how to regenerate after a game and fueling up after a tough 90 minutes.
On the topic of high performance, I don't know if you've seen or listened to the podcast that Jake Humphrey does called High Performance that me and a few of the boys at the club listen to. Have you listened to that before?
Yeah, I have. I got it recommended from our strength coach, Tom Perryman. I've listened to the Steven Gerrard episode. I've listened to the Tyrone Mings that is quite recent. Yeah. I think there was another one. Yeah, the Phil Neville one. I enjoy it very much, and I might say some of the same things as they do.
I think it's amazing listening to it. I love listening to the managers' ones, Lampard, Dyche and Solskjaer as well. One question they ask in that at the start, which I love, is what does high performance mean to you? So on the topic of performance that you've been talking about tonight, what does high performance mean to you?
Standards, I think. The daily routine. Tom Perryman actually calls it this, or daily loop, which he took from a rugby player, creating that daily routine that makes you a better athlete. It's non-stop. It's not only when you're at the ground. It's not just 1.5 hours training. It's the prep you do before. It's what you eat after. It's the treatment you get by the physios. It's what you eat when you get home. It's what time you sleep. And so it's the standards and how much you're willing to sacrifice to be the best you can be.
Well, look, mate, it's something that obviously we've seen you do, and we can't wait to see you doing again on the pitch soon. You've been out for a bit of time now with the injury. The question obviously on the lips of every Brentford fan, I think, is how is the injury comeback going? How are you doing with that?
Yeah, the injury is working itself back to where I want it to be. There is no doubt about it. It's been very disappointing for me to be out for so long time for what in the beginning seemed to be not a simple injury, but something you'd expect to be done with after a certain amount of weeks. So this is not my third rehab, and after a couple of setbacks, I'm really reassured now that I am where I'm supposed to be. So I'm fighting a bit with my body. There's some small things, but I think we're heading in the right direction and should be part of the group starting next week. Maybe not in full training, but at least in some of the drills, and then the next week after I should be available.
And you mentioned there obviously three setbacks with the rehab, and two setbacks, sorry. So
2 setbacks, yeah.
How did you deal with that personally? And it must be a tough thing mentally to have to do.
Yeah, I take a day or two out of my life where I'm just really and I have my head down now. I'm frustrated. I'm not the person I want to be, and that gives I give the physio a bit of a hard time, and I'm not very proud of that either. But I always say after that, hey, that's not me. It's just the frustrations that comes to a person who wants to be out there and help his team, and then afterwards you forget it, and then you work ahead of the next challenge, and that is to be even stronger and to use this break from football to get better at maybe other things. You know, your body, you can work on your strength, but also exploring your mind a bit. For example, listening to the High Performance podcast to get other inputs that you normally wouldn't do. I think it's very important.
Kind of that leads me on to what I was going to ask next. And what positives have you found from this situation, and have there been any?
First of all, seeing that no player is so important that the team can't perform without. Both me and Pontus has been out for majority of the season, and the team has been performing absolutely fantastic. That gives a big confidence for everyone that it's not only we're not only relying on certain players. We have such a strong mentality in this group, and we have such a big depth in the squad, and I think that is really important.
You've still been around the squad a lot. We've seen you at the games and stuff. What are you like as a watcher, mate? Are you a good watcher or are you a bad watcher?
I'm quite calm, I would say. I'm better than Pontus, that's for sure. He's really a screamer, and you can hear him all the time. So I'm quite calm, but there's no doubt about I'd rather be on the pitch. You are quite nervous when you sit out there because you don't have any impact on the game. So I prefer to be out there on the pitch.
We spoke about Pontus, and like I said, we've seen the images, and I've been lucky enough to be in the stadium and I've seen you two in the dugout, and it's kind of, we've seen you two sat at the back of the dugout, stood up, and then in front of you you've got Kevin, Brian and Thomas. Is that a little glimpse into the future maybe? You never know, that management team, maybe one day?
It might be. We'll see if I'm not too tired of being in the same room with Pontus by then. No, I'm kidding. Pontus is fantastic to be around, and he's really one of those guys that motivates you, and he gives you input that you really use. And we'll see in the future when it comes to management. I'm not sure that that is the right thing for me yet, even though I would think that would be funny, but still have a lot of years hopefully as a player, and then we'll see afterwards. Maybe also need a breather from football and from the daily life of being a professional athlete.
The question is, who'd be the assistant and who'd be the first team coach?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. But if I had to pick one, it would obviously be me to be the head coach, and he would then take charge of the more defensive things, like Brian Reamer is doing for us. So yeah, he would create a solid defense, and I would work more on the team's offensive part. And yeah, I think that would be a fine way to do it.
Well, look, like you say, mate, you're only 27, so there's plenty of time to be playing football before we're thinking about that kind of stuff. And the first thing is we want to get you back on that pitch. Appreciate your time, Christian. Really do. Thank you, mate.
No worries. Remember, I'm still 26, but I'm getting 27, and I'm turning 27 in 1.5 months, so it's all right.
I've given you
at least enjoy the next 1.5 months before I turn 27.
Sorry, mate.
That's okay.